what was in my lens missing from that site when you have a state that allows open carry of weapons, etc. So meaning here's the fence or the barricade that somebody has to walk around, go through the metal detectors, come to the site. On the other side of it, there's nothing I can do other than have local law enforcement, have teams posted, etc. So the option is now take out the line of sight. So you got to do like an environmental mitigation here. You got to do some sort of remediation to deal with what you see and assess as a problem when you're building your site. So I see that building 150 yards in the distance. To me, there's a couple of easy things you could have done or should have done, which is you probably remember Brendan, Trump's on the stage and behind him there's that stand with the crowd. Take the stage and rotate it 90 degrees, and that whole barrier now remove the line of sight between the building and Trump. Now, whoever's on that, the shooter that was on there laying there, slope or not on the roof, I could care less. They can't see Trump now. So a simple rotation of 90 degrees of the layout of the site would have remediated that. Conversely, you could have called in and gotten tractor trailers, big semi truck rigs, back them up. You could have offset them a foot so it's there. That would have taken the line of sight issue out. So, I mean, those are just a couple quick things. Another one that you probably have seen at places is big fire trucks, the big fire engines. They raise up the ladders. There's those huge flags draped, the American flag. That's not necessarily just to be patriotic. We use that as a tool because it's now a screen. It drops and it cuts the line of sight out. You could have asked the fire department to come out, roll their engines out, drape those big flags up between the stage and that issue, and that's now taken out of the equation. Again, having said all of that, the second that happened, when the sniper did shoot at Trump and our counter snipers returned fire, I mean, that was less than 3 seconds from start to finish for the guy that was on the end of the counter sniper rifle. I mean, he did exactly what he should have done. When they went down and you saw the agents jump on top of Trump, and then you saw the guy who's kind of like the quarterback yelling, like, shooters down, let's get ready to move. But and they were all talking. I don't know if you saw the audio of that one. The couple minutes they were there, it's not because they're dogpiled on each other and they want to sit there. The reality is there's blood on the former president who's running for office today. And so while you go down, I know there's blood. I know I got a problem. I know I'm safe where we are at, and we got to get from here over to there. But to do that means I got to move somebody who was just shot. So what you didn't get to see is, let me check head to toe. Do I have a collapsed lung? Did he get shot in the chest and it's collapsed lung and he's bleeding out here? And I got to deal with this because if all the pressure comes off and all of a sudden he dies on the way from here to there, that's a big problem. So I'm just checking head to toe, arteries. Where's he? Is there any other holes I got to deal with and worry about? Or by the grace of God, did it just graze his ear and that's the only blood I'm dealing with? And so once that's been assessed and they're ready to go and know that they can pick and safely move and not have a secondary problem to deal with, that's what they did. But I think protection needs to match the protectee is the answer I would give you. Trump's not a small guy, period. And if your job is to be a meat shield, as cold and callous as that may sound, it's kind of tough to do if you're 5 feet tall and you got a protectee that's over 6'2". I mean, you're missing a foot and 2 inches, 14 inches of it. So I think that honestly, the level of protection needs to match what the protectee is and who they are and where they go. Meaning, it doesn't have to be men. Have women that are. I mean, there's women that fit the bill. I've worked with them. They're stellar. They are phenomenal at protection. But I do think there needs to be a little bit more of a standard of, you match the protectee on attire, suit, tie. If they're going to go somewhere that requires a polo shirt, then that's what we do. We try to blend a little, but you match the protectee. And I don't know why that doesn't apply to appearance as far as height, and the ability. But again, it's back to there's not a one size fits all within the Secret Service, just like there's not a one size fits all across the board on anything. But having the repetition and the reps on doing site design, site build out, executing against that, doing the details, doing all of that stuff, it builds memory, it builds muscle memory, it builds confidence in what you're doing and the ability to think on your feet. Because even if you saw, a half hour, an hour before Trump arrived that day, a vulnerability, it doesn't mean you ignore it and you don't get to deal with it. It means Trump's coming. That's got to be fixed. Fix it. I don't know. I can't solve it. It's not the answer. And I don't care if you're a female, a male, you're a white guy, a black guy, an Asian guy. I don't care if you're green. It literally makes no difference to me. I've worked with the best and I've worked with the worst. And honestly, I think the Secret Service, it belongs on a pedestal. And I think it's lost some of that. You could call it DEI, you could call it laziness, you could call it government. I don't care what the reason is. But honestly, Brendan, they should take a hard look at how do I keep people there that understand the job.